to give just a little bit of an introduction of, where you're coming from. And I've been collaborating with Paula Jackson since about 2013. We've been like our support system, our community, to get this work out there. Well, she used guided imagery and self-hypnosis on her own MS. And
Right.
from that, she designed a kind of a self-hypnosis guided imagery. She calls it Healing Light Guided Imagery, to help others do what she did for herself. And she had the goals, I will say, she had the goal to actually get it researched at, the University of California, San Diego. And they did pilot research, and Pattie Knight was part of that, one of the volunteers. So I asked Pattie, I met her this last weekend, and I asked her if we could do a little interview so that you can tell your story and what you've discovered about yourself, about your body, your MS, using guided imagery and Hilgi, the Healing Light Guided Imagery that Paula Jackson designed from her experience.
All right. Well, before I met Paula, I was teaching third grade for like 16 years. I had 3 kids. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on at home. I just, I don't know, life was kind of bonkers. We had like a principal who was just the Wicked Witch from the West for 8 years, and she would just dump on me all the time. And I just, got to where I was in a really bad place and just really, stressing on life. Didn't feel like it was really worth it. I was just going nuts with everything. And when I heard about the study, it was kind of crazy. I felt like I kind of interviewed for it, because I sent this letter saying like, oh, I'd really like to be in your study, and this is why, and blah, blah, blah. And so I was so happy that I got in as someone who could actually do the guided imagery. And it just, I think that the things that I did to get to that point helped me really take it on, because I had been doing acupuncture. I had tried craniosacral therapy. I had, really been trying to improve my life. Like in hindsight, I feel like for me, what's true is that I got MS for a reason. I was living life the wrong way. I was being way too controlling and judgmental, and just trying to do everything. And I ended up, getting diagnosed with MS. When I didn't change my ways after that, I ended up with breast cancer. Didn't change my ways after that. Finally, was like losing my mind, went off on medical leave, found Paula a few months later, and it just changed my life. I know when I first started learning the guided imagery, I kind of took it like a teacher does. First I followed the teacher's guide and I did exactly what she said. And then I kind of made it my own after a little bit. And one of the big things for me is that when I got down to the bottom of the stairs, I would, my 3 favorite angels would come. And it's kind of weird, because I don't consider myself very religious, but I realized that I'd become pretty spiritual. And I really, like, these angels have done just an awesome job for me. And, so when I was doing the guided imagery, I would pretty much, at first I would be very controlling over where I wanted the light to help me out. And then I realized I was just being too bossy. And I left it to my angels, and I told them to pick the color for me, and that they knew what to do, and to just take care of me. And I feel like now, I just love, my body has been so good to me, and it talks to me. And if I just listen, then it's happy, I'm happy, like we all get along. And so, the guided imagery just helped me figure out how to listen and give it what it wanted, but also just trusting my angels to do that for me, and not necessarily being super controlling about it. It's helped me out in a ton of ways. I know, like, one time I was coming home from basketball practice, and I felt a migraine aura coming on, and I used to get them for they'd last for 3 days. Every 2 weeks when I was teaching, it was just crazy. And so this was a pretty bad aura, and I thought, uh-oh. But I went home and I just went right into guided imagery mode, and it I and it started. It lasted about 3 seconds, and it was done. I've stopped like my back spasticity. I would always get this like place in my back that would just clench up and just drive me nuts. And it it took about a year of like working on it and focusing on it, but finally those muscles loosened up. And it was when I realized, I kept thinking, oh, geez, do I need to go to a chiropractor? Do I need to go, work on this at acupuncture or craniosacral therapy? And then I thought, duh, I know what to do. I just need to relax it. And it's kind of like I got to where instead of even thinking about relaxing muscles, I just went to the cellular level. Relax every little cell. When you're in pain, everything's all scrunched up and broken and oozing, and just to get everything to just get back to its perfect state and get back to that nice organization that we talked about in 3rd grade on how molecules are organized and all. And, it's just, I even started thinking, I read an article about the 3 to 5 pounds of microbes that you have inside you. And so I started, and read about how they like to be very organized in a very special way. So I thought, you know what, hey, microbes, go ahead and get yourselves organized. And I just visualized them all like getting to their own little spot. And I could just feel my sinuses just crinkle, crinkle, crinkle open. I felt my gut, just kind of like, getting calm. There was a time where I fell in the metal frame of a Pilates reformer machine. I had bruises, like parallel bruises out long on my back. But like it happened about 9 at night. I had to pick up my daughter at midnight from a band trip, and nobody else was really there to help me out. Like I really thought when I fell, I heard a crack. I thought, oh God, is this 911 or what? But I laid down, I did my Hilgi, and after about an hour, everything just kind of mellowed out, and I was able to pick up my daughter that night. The bruises went away within a week. I mean, I actually felt fine after thinking, yikes, this is not good. It's helped me out that way. I've worked on things like, my leg tingling, on being super sensitive to the cold. I've improved those, like sleeping, helping me sleep better. My bladder, like that whole urgency thing, those little accidents and leaks. I hadn't been to a urologist in probably 3 or 4 years. And I went to see somebody recently, and she said, no, you're fine. And with the old urologist, they were always doing the test, those horrible tests, because I wasn't, emptying completely and all. So like, wow, like my bladder's responded. I play wheelchair basketball. I get a lot of little injuries to my hands and shoulders and all. And I just send that love and that healing light to those spots. And, it just really, it like my body takes care of itself if I just listen to it and do what it says. uh, yeah. And, my doctor appointments, I've been really thrilled on those because, like there's a doctor that I saw, back in October for the first time, great guy. And he said that, you know what, I think by the year 2025, you're going to be full-time in a wheelchair. We're going to need to start giving you this infusion of drugs. Let's do an MRI first and see where you stand. And I had been with one medical group and then switched to another and then switched back. And with the original medical group, when I took the most recent MRI, they compared it to the ones back from 2006, 2008. And they said that there were no changes. And yet the ones that I have a copy of from the middle time showed, like they specifically talked about sizes of different lesions that they didn't mention on the last MRI. And so when I went back to this doctor, and, I was just waiting for the whole, like, you need to do this, blah, blah, blah. And he said, no, you're good. I wasn't going to say that. You're just one of those people where you're doing a great job in controlling it. So just keep doing your thing. See you in a year. So it's like, yes, because he actually diagnosed me with progressive relapsing MS. So to have it for 13 years and have him say, yeah, you're fine, you don't need any meds. So it's just so awesome to be able to feel that, my body's working for me, that it's getting better, and I just need to listen to it. I know I get sick when I'm worn out and my body just wants me to lie down, like, and just take a break from life. So when I start feeling a little virus trying to implant itself, like in my sinus, I just tell it, oh, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I'll take a rest. I'll be nice today. I'll be really mellow. And I just tell it, you don't have to be here. I hear what you're saying. And like, just let it go. And so it's, I just feel so much more in sync with, my brain, my body, everything, like on the path to health instead of, woe is me and what's going to happen next and blah, blah, blah. So, hey.
Nice. So it feels like you're in the driver's seat. And not only that, you have a collaboration with your body rather than, what are you doing? Stop doing that. It's more of
Yeah.
a, hey, homeostasis. Hey, let's work together here. And
Oh, yeah.
you're telling me I understand it's important and I need to listen, right?
Exactly. Because it's so easy to blow it off and to, power through and, yeah. And then, to get mad at it and
How
stuff.
well does that work? So
Not very well.
now you have a tool that when something's happening, you can check in, you can kind of get things reorganized both within your body and I imagine.
Yeah, yeah. And while I've mostly used Hilgi to help with physical symptoms, I mean, it also, when I have to go pick up one of my teenage girls, I'll be sitting in the car just trying to get that healing light and compose myself before they come in and rear at me. So, it helps mentally, it helps physically, and it's made life a gazillion times better.
Yeah. So one of the things people sometimes ask me is like, how many sessions do I need to do to get better? What would you tell them?
You know what? I don't think it's that kind of thing. I think it's just changing your mindset, changing your lifestyle, and it's kind of like, they talk about diets. Like, it doesn't work to just go on a diet. You have to change the way you live your life. And so that's, really what it comes down to. And I think as soon as you start changing the way you live your life and the way the thoughts go in your head and the way you listen to your body and take care of yourself, you get immediate results.
So when did you start noticing changes? I know you started doing it was a weekly sessions.
Right, right. You know what? I mean, right away, like I said, I was just in such a bad place. I actually, when I went on medical leave from teaching, I went to a healer's training where, um, like, a couple people would come and like, lay their hands and then tell you what they felt. And this one guy was just said two things. Can I ask why you use the cane? Because your spine was very wobbly and I straightened it out for you. And there was a bad guy eating a hole in your heart and I plucked him away for you. And you know what? That was it. I was in such a bad place that everything was so negative. It was eating away at me, literally. Um, and then like, boom, met Paula, like not soon after that. And it just, like, I realized that I just had this bad like mindset and this wah and whatever going on. And I just needed to, I had the freedom to turn things around because I was on a break from work and I could just really think about myself. And, and I didn't feel like life was going well at all. And it just couldn't continue that way. And so I really needed that hit over the head with a 2x4 to clue me in to change things. So, for Paula to give me this tool was just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how often do you use it now? Is it something you just did and that's it? Or what?
Oh no. I mean, like I do a little bit in the morning. I definitely do it at night. And then during the day, I just, see things or something happens where I just, ask my angels to take care of me. and, help out with something that's bothering me.
What would you recommend people start with? When they get diagnosed and they're like, oh my God, and what happened? This happened suddenly. And, what am I going to do? What can I start doing? What would you tell them?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, doctors are going to push all the physical stuff. They're going to talk to you about medication, the disease modifying therapies, along with, things like Ampera that can help out, and, things that can help out with different symptoms. And, everybody's different. Certainly you have to listen to your doctor. But to me, it's like, if you can get something to help you with your mind, like the, healing light guided imagery, it just makes you feel like you're doing something, that you've got some control, and it's comforting and it's healing. And
You get the diagnosis, you begin the therapies that's going to be out there, and you need to start taking charge. You need to start doing things for yourself, visiting things, what's been happening, what do I need to change? It's
yeah,
as you said, it's not like a diet that you get off and then you get on, you get on and then you get off. It's what changes do I need to make in my life so that you and your body is sustainable, right? So that
right.
living in a healthy way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's hard dealing with getting diagnosed with something, and your brain will like freak out and you will go into a deep dark hole, but you got to come out of it. You can have your little pity party here and there, but you know what? The best thing is to feel in control, like you said, and something like Hilgi makes you feel like you're working to help yourself get better, to help yourself, take charge, and to, just be the best person you can be.
And have that connection with your body, that intimate connection to check in.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, cause I always felt like I knew my body pretty well as an athlete, and, listened to it with all my aches and pains and all, but I didn't even realize the extent that it was talking to me and how often I was blowing it off. So, you're like, bodies are awesome, and they will tell you what they need, and you just have to listen and like do it.
Exactly. Good. So anything else you want to share, or anything else that I haven't asked?
I think partly too is that, like, when you change your mindset, like, good things start happening. And like, once I started this Hilgi and I changed from being all like all the time to, feeling hope. There were things that happened, like I won $1,000 to spend at Sports Authority, which I never like ever win anything. And to me, like, Sports Authority, that was perfect. It was all about my health. It was about getting exercise things and that would help my health. My husband got out of a lousy job and got into a job that was perfect for him. I got this old friend came back in my life, and she ran a college consulting business and took on helping me get my oldest in college for free. Um, what else? My daughter got into the science program, and the first thing they do is a little sleepover. And, of course, they couldn't put her at SeaWorld, which is only 10 minutes away, or the zoo that's like 15 minutes away. They put her way up in North County at the Wild Animal Park. And I thought, oh my gosh, whatever. But when we got up there, it turned out that it was at the Arnold Beckman Center. And that's the guy that my dad used to work with. And so it's weird how all these things happen, like, when you are open to it, and when you have the right mentality, and when you're not just in your whole thing going on. So, things changed on so many levels, physically, mentally, and just the universe was just like awesome at helping me get better.
Yeah, so it wasn't like you had to do everything and push. It was just beginning the mindset, taking care of what's happening now, and then things just kind of rolled, it sounds like, and began to take care of you.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But that was hard because I'm so used to being, I was the bossy oldest of five, I'm the teacher, like, whatever. And so I'm used to just controlling everything and making everything correct and whatever. And so, yeah, once you like just let, your body and your angels take care of you, then it's actually a lot easier and things go a lot better.
And I can't think of anyone with MS who would have a control issue, but what would you tell them would be the first thing to do with that? Because it's such a driver, right?
I know. And it's so hard to let that go, you know. But you know what? I think I got MS because I was doing it the wrong way. I was living life the wrong way. And, like at first I fought it and, fought it with meds and fought it with, I'm not going to let this get me and whatever. But once I realized that fighting wasn't the way to work it, it was listening to my body and helping it with what it wanted. Like it just made all the difference in the world. So yeah, you can't, I know it's like, it's just, you feel like you need to control everything to get things better, but you know what? It's so much better for your mind and your body and all when you just let it, let it go and get the right mindset and don't try to be so bossy all the time.
Good. And so not leaving it on that note, any last words you want?
It's, I can't believe what a great gift it was to learn the the Healing Light Guided Imagery from Paula. And it's just helped me out in everything in life. And, it's kind of, as you grow older and older, you think that you're on this path and you're working, a certain way and all. And, it's weird to just kind of change everything around when you're in your 50s. But you know what? Just because you've been doing it one way doesn't mean it's the best way. And, Hilgi has just been the best thing ever for me. It's just changed my life in such an incredible way. And I thank Paula so much for the gift of teaching me that skill, which will be with me always. And I wish everybody had it because everybody could benefit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. And I'm so glad you really took it and personalized it. And it's something that you have. It's a tool that you have and you can use to listen to your body, to help the body even bring things back into their organized ways and to cope with emotions, with things happening out there, just something for yourself to support you.
Definitely. Definitely. It's been awesome. So I definitely recommend it to everyone. Listen to your body, get some guided imagery, let let your body take care of itself. It knows what to do. It knows what to do if you just let it.
Yep, exactly. Well, thank you.